Welcome to the Monday morning show. That's Ryan G. Hensley. I'm Grant L. Cohn, where the L stands for Lawrence, not loss. So I've never lost.
Never lose.
Actually, I hold this L every. I'm gonna hold this L every Monday. Why am I holding L today? Because I thought the Niners would win by 6. Trying to be. I thought that was.
I had 10.
I thought that was at 23-17. They ended up winning by 32 points. They just destroyed Dallas, and I think it's not necessarily that Dallas is worse than we thought. Maybe they are, but I think this Niners team is just way better than I was willing to acknowledge. I mean, this is a really ridiculously good team.
Yeah.
It's the best Niners team in a long time. Is this the best Niners team since 1994, the last year they won the Super Bowl?
94. I was like a young scrappy little kid, 15 years old in high school. Yeah, just 15. A young 15, 7. You were 7. All right.
7.
Yeah. I could have babysitted you during the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that year.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was older than that. That's how old I am.
That's true.
First of all, I want to say this Dink and Dunk shirt. This is for Dak Prescott today. This is for
seriously.
Should just say Dink, no Dunk. But damn, man. I feel like this is. I mean, obviously, 2012 we got to the Super Bowl. 2019 we got to the Super Bowl. But just right now, like the way that the Niners are just kicking everyone's ass, like just dominating them. I don't recall it being so dominant in 2012 or in 2019. This feels like the best team that I've seen the 49ers have, well-rounded, all-around, complete package since 1994. It almost feels like CMC was that Deion Sanders pickup that changed the game for that 93 team to make them who they were in 94. And maybe they go after and get, man, can you imagine if they went and got like a Surtain or something? Maybe that's the prime pickup that this team might go after and get or something like that. But right now, this team is just really freaking good, man. Like I don't know how to describe it other than say that. I think Brock Purdy is the difference between that 2019 and this team that makes them much better. And that 2012 team was very run game heavy, and they had a great defense. But this team just seems so well-rounded and complete. And I think this is the best team since 94, man. That's my take.
I mean, let's just go through it. Like Steve Young or Brock Purdy, who are you taking?
I'm taking Steve Young.
Okay, I'm taking Steve Young. Ricky Waters and William Floyd or Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Juszczyk?
I got to take CMC.
Gotta take CMC. Gotta take this backfield. Jerry Rice and John Taylor at 32 years old or Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk in their mid-20s?
I gotta take Jerry Rice. I can't.
Gotta take Jerry Rice.
Gotta take Jerry Rice. Yeah.
I mean, we got Dana Stubblefield, Bryant Young. I mean, this team didn't have the edge rushers they didn't have Bosa, Ken Norton Jr. or Fred Warner.
Fans of Norton. I love Norton Jr., but I gotta go Fred, man, especially in today's game. Fred. Yeah.
Merton Hanks or Tashawn Gibson?
Oh man,
Merton Hanks. His 7 picks that year.
Yeah.
Talanoa or Tim McDonald?
McDonald could hit, man, but I'm going Talanoa. Yeah, I'm going Talanoa.
Eric Davis or Deommodore Lenoir?
Oh, Eric Davis. I gotta go Eric Davis. Yeah.
Deion Sanders or Travarius Ward?
Deion. Like, come on, that's my favorite corner of all time. Return man.
Bryant Young or Javon Hargrave?
Bryant Young. Yeah, I gotta go Bryant Young. Yeah.
Dana Stubblefield or Eric Armstead?
Stubblefield. I gotta go Stubblefield
on that one. Yeah. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. It's a bit of a toss-up. I think maybe that team had a better offensive line, but they didn't have Trent Williams. But yeah, it's getting those, and they wear the 94 uniforms. They finally deserve to.
Yeah, this team isn't better than 94. I'm not going to say that, but I feel like they're better than 2012. They're better than 2019. I think for me, that's the easy take.
94 had 3 Hall of Famers on the team, I believe. Let me look. They got Deion, Jerry Rice, and Steve Young. Let me make sure there's no one else. They also had Brent Jones on the team, Steve Wallace, Jesse Sapolu, Harris Barton. Bryant Young isn't a Hall of Famer. He's not.
That surprises me. I thought he was. I know he's Niners Hall of Fame, I guess, but not Hall of Famer, huh?
He is in the Hall of Fame. Okay, he's in the Hall.
What I thought.
4 Hall of Famers. They got 4 Hall of Famers. Does this team have 4 Hall of Famers on it?
Probably Trent Williams, CMC,
Ooh,
Fred Warner, CMC.
Fred Warner's possible. Nick Bosa's on the trajectory.
Yeah,
that's 4.
Yeah,
CMC could be.
I think he will.
I'm not sure. I don't think Debo or Ayuk are necessarily on that trajectory.
Not yet.
Kittle? He's got such a media following. I don't think so. His numbers aren't. No, I don't think so.
No, not yet.
Okay. So it's definitely a discussion. Best team since 94. Better than 94. They got to win the Super Bowl to prove it. Jay Will, new member. Thank you. Joey Mellons, new member. Thank you. Jad is Jad says this defense is the league's boogeyman. The offense loves when opposition tries to shut down one player, come out like someone pooped in their Cheerios. Thank you for the image. Jay Will says Brock Purdy's playing an MVP level, and considering he came back from bad injury just to come out and play better, what a time to be a Niners fan. I know, man. I didn't see that coming, especially after what he did in training camp. But shout out to the Niners defense for being really good. Nathan Flores says, I feel bad for E-Man. Tore his right ACL yesterday, but damn, he did?
Yeah, he's done.
Oh,
yep. It's bad. Sucks, man.
Purdy's way better improvement over Jimmy. Defensive player of the year for All-Pro Fred. What a monster. And what a statement. You stop CMC, all the other weapons get open. Pick your poison. Yeah, pretty much. Ruben Cortez does last night. What?
Doesn't it feel like Kyle's just like picking who to give touchdowns to at this point? I feel like he can. Anyone can score at any time. He just has to decide who he wants to give it to. That's what it feels.
Yeah, last week it was all McCaffrey, right? This week it was like, all right, man, let's make sure Brock gets these touchdowns. All right, you get 4 this week, Brock.
Yeah,
let's get you into consideration. I like it.
Yeah.
Ruben Cortez says, does last night's win tell us more how good the Niners are or how bad the Cowboys are? Bang bang, baby. Both,
but like
both.
Man, Niners are just it's crazy, man.
The Cowboys don't have a bad defense. Like what the Niners offense did yesterday is legit.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Cowboys offense. Like
they had their best win of the season against the best team they've played so far.
Yep. NG49 says from former Brock skeptic here, no more. He's that dude. J.R. Beckel said both of you were highly critical of Brock and Kyle not long ago. Can you guys both admit how incredibly wrong you were on both? Yes. So far, I'm real wrong on Brock. I didn't think he could keep it up, and I thought this injury would take him down at least a little bit, and I was wrong about that. And as long as Kyle has Brock, it seems like Kyle's going to be at his best. So they bring out the best in each other. They're a really healthy couple. No, not a couple.
They're non-toxic relationship.
Non-toxic, no doubt.
Yeah.
Non-toxic.
I'm not gonna say that I was highly critical of Brock or Kyle. I'm not gonna accept that one. But I can tell you, I did not see Brock coming out like this. I did not see it.
Spider Ombre says Grant always killing it. Would you agree Purdy might not have that elite bazooka arm strength? Obviously he doesn't, but he does have elite vision and footwork. Right, he certainly does. It's a lot like Joe in that way. Ron says real deal Holyfield looking closer by the week. Real deal Purdy Field. Real deal Purdy Field from now on.
It's Brocktober is what people are saying nowadays. That's what they're saying.
What is this topic?
The remarkable story of Brock Purdy. I just can't believe what's going on, man. It's really it's mind-blowing what we're seeing from Brock Purdy. He has the highest, check this out. He has the highest QB rating for a quarterback in his first 10 games in the history of the NFL. I'm talking about like the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He's doing better.
Yeah.
The last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, UCL injury, comes back, plays better than he ever has. They haven't lost 15 games in a row. They tied a franchise record for the most wins in a row by the 49ers ever. Excuse my language, this shit is crazy. Like what we're watching right now, no one's ever seen it before. And we get to sit here and watch it, man. It's a pleasure. I don't care about being wrong about whether Brock Purdy's arm strength was going to hinder his success. It's obviously not. I was wrong about that. I'll admit that part. I don't think I was wrong about his arm strength, but it's not a problem for Brock Purdy. And I don't give a shit. As a Niner fan, I enjoy watching it. I'll eat crow all day long and trade it for what witnessing right now.
Yeah, I mean, his rise or his burst onto the scene, the only thing I can ever compare it to is Patrick Mahomes. And when Mahomes came on the scene 7 years ago, it was a lot of like incredible highlight plays, no look passes, left-handed like downfield throws. He's a lot of fun to watch, and he was efficient. Purdy's like way different. He's not Brady standing in one place checking down, but it's all like very much watch how quickly he processes. Watch how decisive he is. Watch how elusive he is. Watch how confident he is. Check out what a good leader he is, all at 23 years old, all while being the last pick in the draft. I mean, it's different than Mahomes, but it also it's almost even more remarkable than the Mahomes. So like Mahomes was the 10th pick in the draft. Everyone saw he made crazy throws in college. They didn't know if it was going to translate.
Yeah.
No one thought twice about, even the Niners. They're like, they took him with the last pick so they could sort of probably save money. If they had got him as an undrafted free agent, they might have had to bid against a couple teams, and maybe he would have been a little bit more expensive than the last pick in the draft. So it was almost economic what they did.
Can you imagine if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl? This story is going to be better than the Kurt Warner story. There's
way
nothing comparable to what's going on right now in San Francisco or Santa Clara. I'm just here for it, man. I'm enjoying all of it. Just to see what he's doing. I mean, he's trending 30.6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He leads the league in completion percentage with 72%. He's trending like 4,300 yards. My mind is just blown. I will say, when I saw him last year in preseason, I said, this guy's intriguing and he looks like a playmaker. But I would be lying my ass off if I felt like if I sat here and told you I saw this coming. Like his ability to process and anticipate and just see the field is like nothing I've seen. It's crazy.
Also, his ability to improve on his weaknesses. Like, he'll do something, you'll say, all right, well, first of all, he threw a ton of picks in camp. That really happened. But where Jimmy Garoppolo would throw picks in camp and not learn from it, Brock obviously does learn from his mistakes and doesn't repeat them in games. So I didn't understand. I'm so programmed to watching Jimmy. Whereas like if he does it in practice, he's going to do it in the game, like not Brock. And then when he has a weakness that he shows in games, like the long throw or something, it's not a weakness 2 weeks later. He really improves. He faced Dallas last year and kind of struggled. I mean, the best thing he did was not turn the ball over. This year, the second time he faces him, essentially the same defense minus Diggs.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like Steve Young in the 1994 Super Bowl. You know, he just makes him look like the 94 Chargers.
Well, in training camp, when Brock Purdy was throwing interceptions, their response or things they've said was, "Oh, he's working on things. He's focusing on his weakness, trying to improve." And the pessimist in me is like, "Are you really, or is this this is just happening?" And seems like that's what it is to me. Brock Purdy doesn't really seem to give a damn about what people think outside perspective. He was legit probably just working on his weaknesses, trying to push himself in training camp to improve and get his arm strength back and get to where he needs to be. And man, it's wild stuff, man. 0 interceptions through 5 games. He's dominating. There's not many quarterbacks in the NFL right now that are playing at a higher level than Brock Purdy, if any. Very few.
Definitely not. Joey Mellons. I thought I was a member for 20 years. Here's 20 months up front. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate you. J.R. Beckled. Is Purdy a top 6 quarterback? Man, I'm not willing to say that yet, but you can do that if you want.
I don't know if we're going to talk about it later. Are we going to talk about who would we trade?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
We'll go over kind of that in a second and talk about that.
Neil says if Brock helps win the Niners Super Bowl this year. Sorry.
Yeah.
Forget going to Disneyland. Disney will be at his front door the second he wins it for his movie. Yeah, I would have to say so.
The movie's coming.
All right. What quarterbacks would you trade Brock Purdy for straight up?
Yeah, I was trying to think about this because, I rank Brock Purdy continues to just climb the ladder for me. Now, there may be quarterbacks that are overall better quarterbacks than Brock Purdy, but as far as like for this team, who would I actually just trade him straight up for? There's very few that I can think of.
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell's been cooking. Hey, Sam Howell's been doing his thing. No, I would not do Sam Howell. I would do, obviously, I would trade Patrick Mahomes for Brock Purdy. I would trade Josh Allen for Brock Purdy. I would probably trade Burrow, or not Burrow. No, I would not trade Burrow. Herbert for Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, I don't know. I don't know that I would trade anyone else. Not that he's better than all these other quarterbacks that I'm leaving off. I'm just saying right now for this team in this situation, money aside, I'm not including money either. I just like what Brock Purdy's doing with this team. I don't think I would want another quarterback to come in here and try to emulate what he's doing. Grant, you probably have a few more, I feel like.
I like Brock Purdy a lot, but I feel like we can't ignore the numbers and the wins and the success that Jimmy Garoppolo had on this team. And it's like, yeah, Brock's doing his thing. And you can't minimize that and be like, it's everyone else. It's not, he's definitely contributing in a large way to the Niners' success. And he's got a 123 quarterback rating. It's nothing to sneeze at. But it's like, okay, he's got one of the top play designers in the league who's really in his bag right now. Okay. He's got one of the top play designers in the league. He's got probably the 5 best weapons on the field at all times. He's got an outstanding defense. He doesn't have a great offensive line. He doesn't. And that's part of what makes him so impressive. Like, he buys time. He steps up in the pocket more than last year. He can get out of the pocket. He's very, very, very good. But would he have a 123 quarterback rating on another team? No, I don't think he would.
No.
So what his real baseline is, or what he would be on an average team, I don't know. But like, you put Trevor Lawrence on the Niners.
Yeah, I would like Trevor Lawrence. I would probably do that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You put CJ Stroud on the Niners, you probably have great numbers.
I do like CJ Stroud. I got to see more,
so
but
those are a couple guys I'd like. Yeah. But it's like, would I rather have Daniel Jones than Brock Purdy? No.
Mm-mm. What about? Would I
rather have Kirk Cousins than Brock Purdy? No.
No. What about? No. What about Tua? Would you rather have Tua?
No.
What would you take Burrow over Purdy right now? I don't like what I'm seeing from Burrow right now.
I think Burrow's kind of overrated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take Dak.
What about Hurts? Would you take Hurts over Brock?
I feel like Brock is a better fit for the Niners scheme than Hurts, but I think I probably would take Hurts on. I think Hurts is a better fit for Philly's scheme. I think they're just kind of different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I like Hurts, but I don't know.
That's what I'm considering in all this is like, with this system, with these weapons, who would I want to come in and replace?
What about Lamar?
Lamar is really talented.
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I might do Lamar also. Yeah.
What about Russell Wilson? He's 35 years old.
Hell no, absolutely not. I love what I see unfolding in Denver with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. It's so enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. About Deshaun Watson, no.
No. Who else?
So,
Anyone else?
There's like 8 quarterbacks you trade Purdy for straight up. So I guess that says something about him.
I mean, after such a short sample size, it says a lot. Yeah. Yeah, and
his quarterback rating is 123, and the next highest dude is Tua at 111. That's pretty impressive.
He's just dominating. But there's also, like, you brought up a good point that does need to be acknowledged. Kyle Shanahan is peak Kyle Shanahan right now. He is. He likes Brock Purdy. He's comfortable with Brock Purdy, believes in Brock Purdy, and therefore he's not holding anything back. He's dialing up whatever he wants to dial up, and it's great to see. And Brock Purdy's executing. This offense is the best 49ers offense we've seen since 94, in my opinion. We haven't seen a 49ers offense this elite since 94. And a lot of that has to go to Kyle as well.
All right. This brings me into a bonus topic. It falls right into it. And I think it's time. I think we need to reassess Jimmy Garoppolo one last time. Because this guy really made a lot of money with the Niners, more than $100 million. He was here for 6 years. His record was 38-17. His quarterback rating was 99. I mean, if you just look at the box score, he was a huge success with the Niners and an excellent, excellent quarterback. But when you look at what Brock's doing now, and you look at that Jimmy's quarterback rating was 103 last year, and you look at Brock's at 123.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear. And then just what Jimmy's done on the Raiders, like, is leading the league in picks, which is no freaking surprise, and getting hurt again. I think Jimmy was even worse than we realized. I think Jimmy is like a borderline backup quarterback. And the reason he stuck around so long is because Kyle's pretty good. And he always had the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick aura around him. And that took him far. If he had been drafted by any other team, I don't know that he would have gotten that kind of benefit of the doubt.
Give yourself some credit, Grant. You did not overestimate Jimmy Garoppolo. You and I were probably there's a handful of us that thought Jimmy was trash for a long time, and you were right. You were right. So give yourself credit for that. We can
if we could just go back real quick. When he had those 5 wins, like he put a bunch of points on Jacksonville, but he won most of those games early on with field goals. Robbie Gould kicked hella field goals. Then he came back the next year, was 1-2, blew his knee out. Then he came back the next year and handed off all freaking year. Like he didn't do what Brock's doing. Brock puts up 30 points in his sleep every week. Every week. That was never the Jimmy Garoppolo experience. And then like even last year when he had McCaffrey and all these guys, he had games like against the Saints where he couldn't do anything. Yeah. Brock hasn't had games like that.
Yeah, it's all those people that, the Jimmy just wins people. Those are the people that need to take the L on this one, right? I'll take my L on Brock Purdy underestimating what he's able to do. I'm not doing it on Jimmy. I've been down on Jimmy for a long time. You have as well. I think what we need to reassess is how great Kyle Shanahan is as a coach to make Jimmy Garoppolo look like a serviceable quarterback, to win games with a quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo who inhibits what he's able to do on the field. It's really a testament to Kyle Shanahan and how good of an offensive coordinator he is. Yeah, but Jimmy's not good. He's not good. He got the bag from the 49ers, and good for him. He did it from the Raiders. Hustler. He does not deserve that money. Shout out to my boy Flair. I don't know if you're watching, but your boy Jimmy, not so hot, my guy.
No, and it's like the Niners have scored at least 30 points in 8 regular season games in a row. The only time they scored less than 30 in a regular season game with Purdy was when he was hurt, literally hurt in Seattle. It was a Thursday night game. But with Jimmy, when he had McCaffrey and these guys, he put up 23 against Kansas City. He put up 22 against the Chargers. He put up 13 against the Saints. Like that's on him, man. There's way too much talent on this team and on the sideline for that to happen. And I think the Raiders really played themselves. I don't know what they were thinking.
Derek Carr,
they weren't watching.
Way better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, the Raiders are naive, man. They watched Kyle Shanahan hand Jimmy Garoppolo W's and bought in on it. Like it was Jimmy doing it. Like they must have been tuning into, some of our friends, not to be named, who just constantly harp on the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo wins, unwilling to understand that this is a team game and the wins are not just a quarterback statistic. It's a team statistic. It's a coaching statistic. Jimmy Garoppolo benefited from the roster around him, and the Raiders bought in. They're supposed to be professionals, assessors of football. They dropped the ball. It seems like a Raiderish type thing to do. They keep being the Raiders. Man, I don't understand. At this point, play Aiden O'Connell. See what you got. Just keep playing.
I just feel like this whole Brock Purdy experience really makes the Jimmy Garoppolo experience seem like, man, that's all it was. Like, look at how easily this team scores points now. And it's not because the quarterback's otherworldly. He's excellent, but he's not Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Like, Jimmy was holding this whole operation back. And
remember, Kyle, man, it's simple shit. Can you do it? Remember that in the game?
And remember Jimmy, he said your plays freaking suck, man. Well, I think Jimmy thought he was going to go to the Raiders and have the last laugh in the system he likes, that New England Patriot style system. And you know what? The interceptions were an even bigger issue. Durability was still an issue. And so I guess Jimmy has to look in the mirror and Kyle can say, I know more than you, dude. I tried to tell you.
He does. He really does.
Yeah.
And maybe Jimmy, looking back, should have been more involved in the offseason. Maybe he should have bought in more. Maybe he should have lived up to the contract that he gave him and been all in and not gave Kyle a reason to move on and get Brock Purdy, because I don't think Jimmy's ever going to find – he's not going to find a better situation than he had with the 49ers. That much is clear. I don't even know if he's going to be the quarterback at the end of the season in Las Vegas. They're probably going to move on from this guy. But the good news for Jimmy Garoppolo, he's sitting on a big stack of money. He's going to be okay.
And that's the thing. Like, he got that big stack of money without having to do much or prove much. He was a backup for a long time. He won 7 games. He got rewarded. Like, Brock has to do this for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
He can't just have a good month and a half. He has to not only be this good, because they like Darnold too. He has to be the ultimate pro. You know, he has to outwork everyone, not just outplay everyone, but outwork everyone. And I think the Niners are really fortunate that they have that situation with the quarterback. You don't want to just anoint someone right away. It doesn't help him. It doesn't help anyone. It didn't help Jimmy. It didn't help Trey. It wouldn't help you if you got a bunch of notoriety and money really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't help anyone. I think it's good to have to stay humble and keep grinding and have a roommate and all that stuff. So it's good.
I'd take the money, but yeah, I'd take the money.
Everyone would take the money, but then in 2 years, when you ruin your life and you look back, you're like, man, I wasn't ready for that.
Kind of messed that up.
That kind of messed that up.
Yeah. I'd enjoy the process, though. I would enjoy that. Going through that process. Yeah, no.
You say that now.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah.
You say that
now.
Now.
This is great, man. This whole thing is fantastic. And there's a little bit of luck here. I mean, we've got to be honest. There's a little bit of luck here for the 49ers stumbling across Brock the way they did. It's not like they were like, this is our guy. We're going to draft this guy. He's going to be our franchise quarterback. It was like, hey, we need another quarterback. This guy looks pretty decent. Let's grab him with the last pick and see what happens.
Stash him on the practice squad. Oh, wait, he's actually better than Nate Sudfeld. Let's keep him.
Yeah.
But not like he's better than Trey Lance. Like, they didn't know that.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't
expect that at all.
Yeah.
Nah.
So a little bit of luck for the 49ers, but I mean, when you do work hard, you do the right things, and you have a good system, and you got good people around you, sometimes luck bounces your way. And so 49ers deserve some credit for it, but it's also a little bit of luck, man, lucking into Brock Purdy. Nobody expected Brock Purdy to play the way he's doing. Nobody. I don't care. Kyle Shanahan, John,
Luck's a
nobody.
funny thing. Yeah. Luck's a funny thing, depending on how spiritual you are or superstitious.
Yes.
Sometimes you feel like you make your own luck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're doing good things and your karma's good, that all of a sudden you get rewarded with like. That was so lucky last night when Diamador Lenore kicked that ball back in the field, and then Kevin Givens got it. It's like, where's all this luck coming from? Well, sometimes maybe you're doing the right thing. Maybe when you have, I don't know. I don't know how the universe works, Ryan. You tell me.
Okay, I do know. No, I don't know, but I will say that I do believe in karma or whatever it is. I don't know if it's just karma or what it is necessary, how you label it. But I feel like if you treat people right, you do the right things, you're going to be rewarded. That energy comes back to you. And maybe that's what the Niners are doing right now. Maybe they're doing the right things and hard work pays off. I do believe that. Bad things happen to good people sometimes as well. But I feel like in general, if you're doing the right things, you're taking the right steps, you're working hard, good things will happen to you.
And, Purdy's suffered. He had to stare down the end of his career after, 2 months. That UCL injury was probably terrifying. Mm-hmm. And look at him now. So great story for him.
The whole thing is, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, let's do some prize picks.
Let's do
prize picks. Sponsor my channel. They're terrific. If you want to play along with us, use the link in the description. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, to receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. And if you use my promo code, it helps me. So if you're going to use prize picks, definitely use my promo code COHN. Let's do some more than or less than right now. It's going to be
Jimmy,
the Packers against the Raiders tonight. So let's start with Jimmy. 242 yards, more than or less than against Green Bay.
Anything that's Jimmy right now, I'm taking the under, just off top.
Definitely less than. I'm going less than as well. I can't trust him. I mean, he may not even make it through the whole game. Not a fan of the Jimmy Garoppolo. This is so predictable. Jordan Love, more than or less than 244.5. I love these more than or less than games. 244.5, Jordan Love.
I've been high on Jordan Love since preseason, man. Really like what I see from Jordan Love. I'm going to go over on this one.
More than. I'm doing more than as well. Would you trade Brock Purdy straight up for Jordan Love?
No.
I feel like no, because like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Jordan Love's young, but I feel like Jordan Love would ball on the Niners. I think he'd be so good.
Yes.
Brock Purdy. in Cleveland next week, 10 a.m. start, 236.5 passing yards for Brock.
236 versus Cleveland.
236. Yeah.
It's a good defense. Damn.
It is a good defense.
Prize Picks is really good at putting it right about where it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's a tough
more
one.
Than or less than. More than or less than.
I'm going to go more than just because I'm riding the Brock Purdy train right now. So I'm going to go more.
I'm going more than as well.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going more than as well. I feel like people don't realize how explosive this offense is just yet. Okay. Let's get Cleveland real quick. One more.
Okay.
Amari Cooper, 59.5 receiving yards, over under, more than or less than against the Niners this week. Amari Cooper.
I'm gonna say more than. I'm gonna give him more than.
Really?
I like Amari Cooper. Yeah, that's probably a bad bet, but I just like Amari Cooper, man. So I'm gonna go more than. You're going less.
Okay, I respect it. I respect it. Okay, last one. George Kittle, more than or less than 40.5 receiving yards. George Kittle.
Oh, he had a phenomenal game last night, and I did call it on my Twitter. I said the George Kittle game is loading before the game, and it did happen. So because he plays so good this week, I'm going to say under, less than next week.
Less than. Yeah. Me too, man. It's a 10 a.m. start. No one's watching the game. He's going to conserve himself, or they're going to conserve him. So those are my picks. Jimmy G, less than 242.5 passing yards. Jordan Love, more than 244.5 passing yards. Brock Purdy, more than 236.5 passing yards. Amari Cooper, less than 59.5 passing yards. Ryan disagreed with me on that one. And George Kittle, 40.5, less than that receiving yards. Placing the entry. Boom. Simple as that. Let's see if I win one of these one time. Again, click the link. Use my promo code COHN. Thank you, Prize Picks. Let's take some super chats. Alex says wins like Breeze, but more elusive and quick.
Wins like Breeze. I don't like the wins.
Man, I don't think he's like Breeze at all. Breeze got the ball. I mean, a little bit. Breeze got the ball in his hands like super duper duper fast. Brock Purdy takes his time. He can get the ball out of his hands quickly, but he extends plays all the time.
I think he sees the field really well and anticipates and processes. But I think Breeze's accuracy was one of the best we've ever seen. So I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know if I like that comp necessarily.
P. Ruiz says his name is Glock Purdy. It was great to see Jordan Mason get to tote the rock, and he did not disappoint. Hopefully, Kyle Shanahan keeps feeding him. I think he will.
Oh, he
Matt McEwen says, quick question to rank Brock in the NFL. What teams would Brock upgrade over their current quarterback right now?
What teams would Brock upgrade over their current? I think it's less than what we talked about earlier. I think there's probably 20 teams that would upgrade by adding Brock Purdy as their quarterback, but I think it's less than what we talked about as far as trading.
Would the Seahawks upgrade?
I don't know. I think Geno's a good.
Would the Rams upgrade?
No, Matt Stafford is good. Is a good quarterback. Yeah. Doesn't mean I would want Matt Stafford or Geno necessarily over Brock on the Niners, but I don't think they necessarily would like Brock on their team. There's a lot in play with this. I think a lot of people look at this a little casually, like this team is elite. Kyle Shanahan is elite. That all does factor in what we're seeing from Brock Purdy. It's all a good fit. It's a good fit altogether, but doesn't necessarily mean you can just insert this guy or take this guy away and they would be successful on another team or vice versa.
Stevie B805 says, never as a Niner fan have I been so confident that we are going to score. We hit the lottery with Purdy. Love content, Grant. You are the realest boss.
The realest.
What about the OG over here, Ryan Hensley, though?
I'm pretty.
Matthew Sanders says,
no, go ahead.
If Brock is a system quarterback, then what is Jimmy? LOL. A backup. I was trying to say that for years, man. And that was the whole thing, like comparing him to Nick Mullins. It wasn't to say that Nick Mullins was great. It was to say that Jimmy is a glorified backup making tons of money.
You said that for years.
He got the next Tom Brady label because that team drafted him. Like, okay, he was a late second round pick. They've drafted lots of quarterbacks. They drafted Ryan freaking Mallett.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I never had Jimmy Garoppolo in the top 20 ever in his whole career. I've never ranked him there.
No. Sean O'Leary, oh man, just had this debate at work. Bunch of Bears fans trying to tell me Jimmy G and Purdy are interchangeable. No happy feet, has mobility, and no hospital balls for Purdy. Also, durable.
And People have been saying, people called Brock Jimmy 2.0. I've never said that. That's one thing I want to be clear on. That
I say a lot of stuff. My bad.
I never said that. I always thought he was better than Jimmy. Always.
Can I say something though? Like
Yes.
I'll say some crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't run from it though.
You don't.
I'll be like, yeah, I said that.
Yep. That's what people like. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about having an opinion, saying it with your chest, and admitting when you're wrong.
Standing by it, right or wrong, and being, taking your ego out of being right or wrong. How about that?
Everybody's
not saying
wrong.
I don't have an ego, but you got to take your ego out of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Everybody's wrong. Hey, don't let anyone tell you differently. They're all wrong. Even the people taking victory laps right now have been wrong about a lot of things.
Jamila13 says, Brock put a clown suit on Jimmy for saying Kyle's plays are trash. He really did. Jimmy's gonna have to live with that one, man. Flav says, I only said Jimmy was better than Trey, and he's above average.
Stop it.
It's still even close.
Stop it, Flav. You tweeted out like 2 weeks ago, I miss you, Jimmy, with like 3 explanation points. Stop it. Stick with Jimmy. Jimmy's your guy, Flav.
O'Connell's QBR was 8 last game. 8. Well, he sucks. See, that's the thing. Jimmy's supporters always point to his backup. Like, well, his backup's worse. That's how it's supposed to be. You have Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs, and you poop the bed.
Mm-hmm.
J.R. Beckel says Brock was this good last year, too, not 1 month. It's true. It's absolutely true. Dazza says, any news on Banks? I heard he injured his bicep. No news yet, but no news is bad. Brother Bob says, I'm late, but predicted us 41-17. How about them boys? Why are you such a Niners hater, man? It was 42-10. Why do you underestimate the Niners all the time? Ryan Mack says, if Brock Purdy wins NFL MVP in a Super Bowl, would you consider Purdy an elite quarterback in just his second year?
Yeah, I would. You won an NFL MVP and a Super Bowl, and you've done what you've done so far. I mean, yeah, I'm going to. If he does, when he does, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I haven't made up my mind yet. We'll see. I don't want to say something I don't mean.
Yeah,
Brother Bob says, this is another blowout 44-6 beat snot out of Brownies.
Brother Bob.
Edgar Gutierrez says, I'm late, but has someone complained yet that you gave Brock an A+ instead of an S+? Probably. Keldon says, if that Patriots team can have an undefeated regular season, this team can do it and win the Super Bowl. What say you? I think they can do it. I don't see myself picking against the Niners anytime soon.
No, I don't see it right now. I look at the schedule. I don't see any team that's they're going to be this.
Philly's the only one I'm interested in. I mean, the game's going to be in Philly. They have just an incredible offensive line and defensive line that I think kind of sets them apart from most teams. I mean, their offensive line is really formidable, and I think they can match up with the Niners in that sense. So I'm curious to see what they do. But right now, they're struggling, even though they're 5-0 or whatever.
They're 5-0, but they've only like blown out one team. They're 5-0, but they're all pretty close. Like they're not doing what the Niners are doing right now.
No. Dazza says Greenlaw needs to start getting more notice. He should make the Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got a topic for you then.
Mm-hmm.
Name the most underrated player on the 49ers. This is a high-profile team with a bunch of high-profile players. Nick Bosa is not underrated. Christian McCaffrey is not underrated. Brandon Ayuk, not anymore. Debo, not anymore. Trent Williams, no. These guys get their flowers from PFF, the media, at local, national. Give me someone that just no one talks about who's actually a stud.
Tashawn Gibson, man. He's I don't know what it is about that guy, but he doesn't get any praise or credit. He started the interception train off last night, right? He got the first one last night. Am I tripping? I think he did. But he's just always making plays. He's never getting beaten coverage. He's always doing the right things. Gibson, to me, is a big part of this defense and why it's so successful on the back end. He's a veteran, been there doing this 12 years now. And he's always seems to be underrated and unappreciated. Huff gets all the praise, and rightfully so. I like Huff. He's a great player, one of my favorite players on the defense. But I think Tashawn Gibson is just as good, if not even better than Huff. And I think he deserves some praise. And he's not getting much for whatever reason. It's weird to me that he doesn't get more praise.
I agree. It's like he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about Tashawn Gibson. It's not he's not on the team. But if he were the starting safety in 2021. Next to Jimmy Ward, if those two had been the safeties, they
might be
probably win the Super Bowl. So like that's how important he is.
Yeah.
He's that. If they had gotten him earlier, they might have won the Super Bowl already.
Yeah.
So that's a good answer. I'm going to go with another one. I think we've talked about this before, but I'm going to go with another guy in the secondary, Diamador Lenore.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good. I'm not sure he's the second corner on this team. He might be the number one corner on this team. He makes plays. He's good in man coverage, zone coverage. He tips passes, intercepts passes. He used to, last year, he kind of struggled on the deep throws up above his head. Now, I mean, no one even tests him anymore. And when they do test him short, he makes plays. Diamador Lenore, no one talks about him. I don't understand how such a good player, such an important position could be so anonymous.
It's good, and I think he was leading, or he was close to leading the team in tackles as well. And so teams are coming at him, but he's a sure tackler. That's also a good point in Diamador Lenore. I got two others.
Okay,
and maybe I'll just lump them together. We can talk about them. Juwan Jennings and Ray McCloud are underrated players on this team.
Yeah.
Juwan Jennings, because of how tough he is, how physical he is, the way he blocks, he gets in their head. I don't know if you guys noticed, but he was in the Cowboys' head all game last night. He was just roughing dudes up, blocking the hell out of them, pissing people off. He doesn't care. He's that glue guy, the lunch pail guy. I'm a big fan of Juwan Jennings. You know who else would like Juwan Jennings a lot? Would be Harbaugh. Harbaugh would love Juwan Jennings because of the way he plays. So Juwan Jennings is one for me. And then also,
let's talk Ray though. Let's talk Ray.
Let's go ahead, man.
Because I feel like Ray is a really, really good player, a really good athlete who can play offense and special teams. But he can return kicks and punts. And I think he should have a bigger role. It's just that the team is so stacked, he doesn't really have a role on the offense right now. Mm-hmm. But last year when Debo went down, Ray was arguably better, more explosive. I mean, I would like that. We're both doing a really good job of quality control. And I think recently, I made it my point to get Kyle Juszczyk more involved in the offense, and the Niners obliged, which I appreciate it. Now it's Ray's turn. Mm-hmm. Ray's explosive. He adds an element that no one else adds to this team, to this offense. And I think they scored 42. Okay, give him some touches.
Yeah.
Give him some touches on offense. Come on.
He's earned it through his special teams play. It's always a positive play from Ray. He finds these little creases in the kick returns and the punt returns and gets as many yards as anyone would in those situations. He's so solid in kick returns and punt returns that he's a big difference maker for the 49ers. And a lot of people don't realize it or give him credit for it, but he continues to put the 49ers in good field position because of his special teams play, and you don't have to worry about him, right? He's not Kyle Williams back there. So it's great to have Ray McCloud on this team. But I also think, Grant, we should probably mention Greenlaw. I know he gets more talk than the other guys that we've been talking about, but there's something special about Greenlaw and how he enforces just the physical nature of the way he plays, the way he picks guys up, slams them. He always puts a little extra emphasis on every single tackle. And he lives in the shadow of Warner, and rightfully so. Warner's a future Hall of Famer, but Greenlaw is also, I think, underrated by a lot of people in the NFL.
He's faster than Warner. Mm-hmm. He's more violent than Warner. Mm-hmm. He's more fun to watch than Warner. Warner's great, and Warner, what he does in coverage is fun. He's an all-around great player, no weaknesses. But Dre Greenlaw hits harder. Like if one of those two were the water boy, it would be Greenlaw, not Warner. Okay. Yeah. And I grew up in the 90s. I still like watching hard hitting football. I don't know if kids do anymore, but I appreciate a linebacker who can, let me compare him. I never was a big fan of Chris Borland. I always felt that Chris Borland put up good numbers, but he really lacked speed. And when he had to get to the sideline, he would dive at people's ankles. I don't like watching linebackers dive at ankles. You should be running through them. Yeah. You should be breathing down their ear hole. And that's what Patrick Willis was like. And that's what Dre Greenlaw's like. He is breathing down your ear and he slams you down and then he talks to you on the ground. That's what a linebacker does.
If you had to be tackled by one player on the 49ers defense, it would not be Greenlaw. That's a good question. Grant, if you had to be tackled by one player on the 49ers defense, who are you choosing? Who's tackling you? Who are you choosing?
Kinlaw.
No way. No, you're not. Kinlaw. I wouldn't choose Kinlaw either. I'm choosing
Kinlaw.
I'm choosing Oliver. Isaiah Oliver can tackle me. That's the one player I would, if I had to choose. Lenore.
Ambry Thomas.
But it's not Greenlaw. It's not Greenlaw. That's for sure.
No, I wouldn't get back up from that. That would not be fun.
Yeah.
All right, here's the big question in the NFC, maybe the NFL. What team is better, the Eagles or the Niners? These might be the two best teams in the whole league, not just the NFC.
I think it's the Niners, man. I think it's the Niners. The Niners are the most solid team in the NFL, front to back, complete package right now. From coaching to defense to offense, they have the greatest point differential in the NFL. I believe it's 99. So they're killing teams better than any other team. They're undefeated. Eagles are the only other undefeated team. And if you look at the point differential, it favors the Niners. What the Niners are doing, they're on a bigger win streak. They won more games over the last 15 games. I gotta go Niners, man. I don't think it's close. They're blowing teams out. They're dominating teams. Eagles are winning, but they're winning some close games. I think what they just beat the Rams by 7 points. It's Niners to me. It's not close. I think they're the best team in the NFL, not just the NFC.
The Niners currently have the number one defense in terms of points allowed. They've given up 68 points this year. Number one, fewest. And in terms of points scored, they're number two with 167 points. So, yeah, that's hard to be better than that. Eagles currently have the 5th ranked offense and 13th ranked defense in terms of points.
Yeah.
Yikes. The only thing is it's an interesting matchup because the way the Eagles are built, a very big team. The Niners want to be the bullies. They want to, and they're bigger than Dallas. They can bully Dallas. They have bullied Dallas. We've seen it a million times. Philly is hard to bully them. They have a bigger offensive line than the Niners. They have a bigger defensive line than the Niners. Like they don't lose in the trenches. So last time that these teams faced, the Niners couldn't even get through one drive without getting their quarterback. They got 2 quarterbacks hurt. It was all bad. And it's the same offensive line, essentially. So I'm just curious about how the teams match up. But I still think the Niners probably end up with the number 1 seed.
I think the key is Kyle Shanahan and him dialing up plays that make sense against the Eagles. When they played him in the playoffs, I really didn't like what I saw from Kyle. But right now, Kyle just seems to be in the zone, like dialing things up correctly. There was one play against the Cowboys. I'm like, you probably don't want to run that play. It was slow developing, like fake handoff, play action for Brock Purdy, and he almost got jacked up. Other than that, man, I think it's about Kyle. Kyle has the ability to dial up plays that make sense against the Eagles, and I think if he continues to do what he's doing right now, they're going to be successful against the Eagles. I really think the Niners are the best team in the NFL. Now, it's a long season, and things change. Chemistry changes, rhythm changes, players get hurt. But as of right now, I think the 49ers are the best team in the NFL and better than the Eagles. And if you take Miami's game against the Broncos, if Miami didn't play the Broncos, they'd have the number 1 offense in the NFL as well.
It's true. It's true. Did we get this one? Greenlaw needs to start getting more notice. He should make the Pro Bowl, says Daza.
I think so.
Brother Bob says, Eaglet, don't run. Let's do Pick and a Pickle lunch, Ryan G.
Ryan G.
I got to go. I got to try a Pick and a Pickle, see what that's all about. Red and Gold Rainwater says, Brock is a top 5, Jimmy 2.0. Ryan, you are a liar. You said he hit a ceiling. You all wanted Sandy fired. Man, sit down. We are sitting.
Hold on. Do me you said I hit a ceiling? When did I say it? I've never in my life said it. See, this is the one thing. I'll admit when I'm wrong, but I'm not going to take L's on things I didn't say. I said Brock Purdy is closer to his ceiling than Trey Lance is, and that's true. Still true to this day. Never said.
I'll take L's on things I didn't say. I'll do it for every. Just for the Rainbow says, do you find it weird how a couple of these fans still talk negatively about Trey after being off the team? I think it's mostly people trying to gloat about being right, which, is something that goes along with sports talk. Bose's Burner says, feeling bad for Mosley. Dude can't catch a break. So sorry for Mosley. Franklin, I'm starting to think this team is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Jeremy Soto says, after last night, Fred Warner, DPOY front runner. Yeah, I mean, it ain't Bosa. It's got to be him. Doja Boys 209 says, Jimmy is and always will be trash. BCB 262 to MVP. Jimmy Kwan says, Dallas sold out to shut down CMC. Kyle and Brock got a lot of players involved and their attack was balanced. If they continue doing that, they'll be a nightmare to deal with. Keep up the good work. Can't wait for you and your pops. Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Yeah,
I like that comment.
Can we talk about this real quick? CMC did get only 2.7 yards per carry. Then Jordan Mason comes in, 10 carries for 69 yards, 6.9 yards per carry. Man, Jordan Mason.
Who could have seen that coming? That Jordan Mason being good?
Yeah, better than he had a better day than Pollard and CMC.
Do the Niners have a weakness? is something going to be exposed about this team at some point? Or are they just going to cruise to a Super Bowl the way we haven't seen a team cruise to a Super Bowl in a very, 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 very long time?
So they have a weakness, but the weakness isn't big enough to where it's going to, I don't think, cost them games. But yes, I think Isaiah Oliver is a weakness on the defense, the nickel corner position, and I still think McKivitz is less than desirable at right tackle. But overall, do they have a weakness that's going to hinder them from winning the Super Bowl? I'm gonna say no. I think with what they have right now, they're strong enough to still do the thing.
Well, I'm just still got my eye on that offensive line. I know they just passed a huge test against Dallas. That's a big deal. And Kyle did a great job neutralizing Micah Parsons. But what's up with Aaron Banks? Is John Feliciano good enough? What happens when this team faces Philly in that D line? What happens when this team faces Kansas City in the Super Bowl and Chris Jones? Can they hold up to that kind of talent?
Can we talk about?
I don't know.
Can we talk about how stupid the Dallas Cowboys are for putting Michael Parsons over Trent Williams pretty much the entire game? What the hell? Why would you do that? I thought it was automatic that Michael Parsons is going to be rushing Colton McKivitz, and he only did it a handful of times. He was on Trent Williams the whole time. It made no sense. I don't think the Eagles are going to be that stupid. So we'll find out. And maybe the Browns won't be that dumb either. So maybe we'll find out this coming Monday how they look against the Browns. Browns do have a good pass rush. So there's still some tests out there for the 49ers. That was just completely moronic by the Cowboys.
Can I point it up now? I've been like trying my hardest to praise Kyle Shanahan because he deserves it, and I may not always feel like this. I might slip into my old ways.
Yeah.
But like last year ended because he blocked Hassan Reddick with Tyler Kroft. And it was stupid. He's not stupid. It was stupid.
Yeah.
And then we asked him about it because it was obviously dumb. And publicly, he doubled down like he always does. And that kind of stuff annoys me because I'm the kind of guy like, hey, when you're wrong and you know you're wrong, just say it. And people respect that. Just say it.
Right.
So he didn't say it. But look at his actions. Because some people be like, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. And then just keep doing the same stuff. Kyle won't admit when he's wrong. But this year, he doesn't have Ross Dwelly, Charlie Warner blocking freaking Micah Parsons one-on-one. It's like it takes a village.
Yeah.
He's using all the people in the village. So he didn't say it. He didn't ask for forgiveness or confess his sins. He just changed.
Yeah.
Got to respect it.
It's growth.
Got to respect it.
Growth. And it's hard to do. I'm the same age as Kyle Shanahan. We're like pretty much 4 months apart. Same age. It's hard to grow at this time. Like a lot of times you're stuck in your ways. So I respect it. And I think a lot of it has to do, honestly, I think Brock Purdy is just like changed Kyle Shanahan's stress level, his mentality. He's able to relax and just do his thing. And so I give Brock Purdy a little credit for that as well. But Kyle Shanahan is showing a lot of growth, and it does need to be acknowledged.
So their weakness is the right guard position on field goal kicks. No, I don't really know. It's not kickoff returner. It's not kicker. It's not punter. It's not the D line. It's not the run defense. It's not the pass defense. It's Isaiah Oliver, Colt McKivitz, Spencer Burford. I mean, John Feliciano.
That's it. That's the weakness.
It's not Jordan Mason.
It definitely isn't freaking Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason. So good. So damn good. I'm a Jordan Mason fan, big time. He needs more. He needs a bigger role on this team moving forward. Even in the first quarter, he needs a bigger role. He's a bruiser.
Final question.
Yes.
What's better, the Niners offense or the Niners defense?
Can I take the cop out and just say both equal? Is that okay? Allowed? I don't know, man. It's
not allowed.
It's not. Let me get your take. Let me hear you first. I want to hear you first. I want to get your explanation because that's tough for me.
I think the offense is better.
Wow.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that offensive line is gonna be the weak point that brings this team down eventually. But if Kyle can scheme around that like he did against Dallas and the Giants, I mean, they put up 42 points, man.
They get to the Super Bowl and they lose because of what? The offense doesn't score enough, or the defense doesn't hold the team low enough?
That's a good question. I feel like this defense got obliterated by the Chiefs last year. Obliterated.
They did. They were injured. They were missing like 5-6 starters that game.
Yeah. They had Bosa.
They did.
Warner. I don't know. They didn't have Armstead. They didn't have Hargrave.
Ward. No Ward.
They're both really good, man. They're the number one defense in the league. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's better. I'm gonna just stay with the defense and say they're better because they've been consistently better for the last several years than the offense. Right now, they're ranked number 1. The offense is ranked number 2. So if I had to go edge any direction, I'm gonna go defense. But it's very, very freaking close, and this is the most balanced 49ers team that Kyle Shanahan has ever had.
It's really well put together. Not many weaknesses, if any.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a pre-salary cap team.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of that 94 team.
It does. And I think to have a team like this, you really have to have a cheap quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
You have to. Otherwise, if you're spending that much, 40, 50 million on a quarterback, you're sacrificing huge chunks of your team. Yeah. And I think we've been talking about this for years. Like, theoretically, a team, this is a quirk of the new collective bargaining agreement since the last 15 years or so, that if you could get the most important position at the cheapest rate playing at a high level, that's a cheat code. That's a cheat code. The Niners got that cheat code right now, like no other team in the league. That
was your formula a couple years ago. That was your formula.
A lot of people are like, you can't do it. You know, you gotta get a veteran quarterback. You gotta pay for it. It doesn't matter. What the Rams did, but look at the Rams now.
Let me ask you this, Grant, going back to like our earlier questions, kind of related to this, what we were talking about, but is CMC the Deion Sanders acquisition, or is there something still out there that they may go for this year that just puts them over the top? Do you think that's
it might be CMC? I mean, geez, they haven't really lost when he and Purdy have been out there together. It might be CMC. I don't think they're going to get another corner, but if they do, that'd be kind of cool. It's Randy Gregory. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm looking forward to watching him though. That is a good pick. We haven't even seen him yet.
That's right. The Arcade Master says that the Niners stay healthy and beat Philly. Do you think they go undefeated this season? No, I think they'll lose a game they should win. I think along the way they'll lose a game they should win just because that's life. But they could.
Almost. This is going to sound weird, but you almost want them to lose one a few weeks before the playoffs so they can wake up and not get so complacent to what they're doing.
Remember how difficult it is. Ezio Sanchez says, remember when they cut Nate Sudfeld? If he would have had a good training camp, he could have had Brock cut and history would have changed. LOL. Yeah, but it's Nate Sudfeld. Kevin Ogden says, people keep saying Brock on a rookie contract is so important this year, but they have $40 million in cap space. They could give Brock starter money and keep the same team. Why people keep looking past it?
That's not true.
They're going to roll over for next year, though.
Next year, they'll be fine. But we're talking about not this year, not next year, but the year after that, there's going to be a shakeup. It's not going to be the same team 3 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. It's lunchtime. Thanks for watching. A lot of people here. Really appreciate all your support, super chats, comments, suggestions, feelings. Appreciate it. Ryan?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thanks, man. If you guys would be so kind, please subscribe to the channel. I had Twin and Lawmaker on Friday before the game, and he came on this morning, so that was fun to watch him explain the Cowboys. So please subscribe.
Subscribe to Ryan. Subscribe to me. Like the stream.